Now, this time of year, my favorite video to do is the 2-year-old video. Now, I'm not going to give you the marks. I like doing that this year, but I'll do that at the start of every month. I'll try and mark all the horses and give them a grade. But I am going to tell you today the strengths and weaknesses of all the 2-year-olds so far, how I see them going, and where I'd like to see them end up. We'd all like to see them end up at the top of their class, but how are they doing? Now, obviously, factoring in expectations, you look at Sunset Acres Girl, I expect her to be one of the best fillies in Michigan, just because when I look at, historically speaking, in Michigan, it hasn't been super strong. And that's, again, I have to put a little disclaimer on that and say I'm not making fun of Michigan, but when you have, your sires as kind of watered down sires and your mares as kind of run-of-the-mill mares, you're going to have a run-of-the-mill program right now, and it's on the rebuild. And I hope with the new facility that they're building, that they can start to work with the government and get Michigan back to an acceptable level, at least. And for now, I think it's much like we do with Illinois. I think it's wise to keep our foot in the door and make sure that we're present in any jurisdictions we can. Somebody sent me a message the other day and said, what about Minnesota? I actually did try and buy a horse from Minnesota once. It didn't work out, but I suspect, yes, we want to be everywhere. So I suspect Michigan, Minnesota, Illinois, everywhere we can be is where we'd like to be. Virginia? Oh, what about Virginia? Anyway, we're going to talk about our horses that we have now, not so much about the ones we might have. AC Swan, these Illinois fillies are training good. They were in they're horsing real bad, in heat real bad this week. So not their best training trips over the last week or so, but again, I suspect they will come back to life very, very soon. AC Swan, I really liked her when I trained her. I haven't seen much of her. Jason's been going with her, Jason Merriman now. He says he likes her, but she's in heat bad. We'll see how AC Swan does this week. Training, we are going to drone on Tuesday, and we are going to video on Wednesday in Ohio. I'm trying to get James to come with me to Ohio, and I know he's got himself into a place where he's kind of thinking about going, but there's probably a voice inside him saying, I'd rather not. So we'll see if I can get him over to Ohio on Wednesday. I have him listed. I have the sets up there. I have him listed so far, so we'll see how that plays out. But AC Swan, I expect big things in Illinois from both those fillies. Activation looked great the other day. Something about this guy, I really like him. I liked him a lot more with the open bridle and the trotting hobbles on the other day. Very happy with what I've seen from him, and excited to see what we're going to see from him in the future. Affection amongst the top of the class for a number of reasons. She gets top marks every week and will continue to. She just looks very, very good on the track, and impressed with the Father Patricks we have. We took a gamble buying, I guess, the Green Shoes in first crop, but definitely the Father Patricks. We had a lot of money tied up into that line of Father Patrick, and it's paid off thus far in training. Now, hopefully it translates into racing on the track, but extremely happy with the Father Patrick. So Affection good, Alibaba, as I said. AC Swan and Alibaba are both training very, very well. Very happy with them thus far. Antilles Hanover, kind of an even Steven type. Somebody had said, he just doesn't seem like he's got any speed. You really shouldn't judge horses' speed in March. It's not a good thing to do. It will deceive you and make a liar out of you all the time, as it's done with me many, many times. So I got to be careful what I say about the horses, and especially a horse like Austral Hanover. I'll keep using him because there'll never be a better tool than him to explain to people how you never know, and you should never judge horses in March, because a lot can change. Even at the last minute when they see the starting gate, a lot can change. So Antilles Hanover has done everything right. He's never let anybody down. And as far as speed, we'll worry about the speed in July. Don't worry about the speed in March. Arson looks very good and has been very good for quite a while. So I've been very happy with Arson. He trained good the other day. I'm getting to know him a little bit better too, and I think he's getting to know himself a little bit better. He's really coming on and working hard. I like what I've seen. I've put him in places the last 2 weeks where those little voices where they know, run out in the turns, like half pull up, make stupid mistakes. I put him in a place where he could make them, and he opted not to. So I think he's on the right track for sure. Blanton's Blue, long way to go with this guy. He trained good the other day. The speed is always there, and there's no problem. And he has got to get his head screwed on straighter. He is going to be one tired puppy come June, because every time he acts rudely on the track, it's just going to equate to more work after that. So hopefully I wasn't disappointed with his work the other day, but he has a lot to work on still. Lots of speed and lots of breeding and a really nice horse. I think he's going to make a very nice gelding, but we're now 2 weeks into castration. I think at the 4-week mark, you start to see a real change. Born to Dance has done his work well, continues to do his work well on the track. I've been happy with him. Chirahola, again, I expect a lot out of this filly, but really, she's doing what she can. The other day, she was a little weak in her training, but Jason had the hobbles on her a little bit tight, and I think she just played herself out a little bit. But I've been happy with Chirahola. I mean, you know, is she up there with Sedona Hill and Oh Snap You and even Purple People Eater yet? No, she's not there yet. But again, March 24th. July the 15th, there's quite a difference, quite a distance to cover. Cowboy by the Sea has been training good. Really happy with him the other day. He looked really, really good training. Did not know looked good training the other day. A big jump in time for her. You never really want to jump them like that, but she felt like she did it easy enough, and she's going to hang out there for a while. So although there was a jump from the 45 to almost 31 that she went, I think as we hang out around that 30, 31 mark, 32 mark, she'll be fine moving forward. And she was another one that I specifically went in. She ate all her lunch, she seemed happy, and she was jumping and kicking and squealing, so I wasn't too worried about her in any way, shape, or form. Don't Talk About Bruno has quietly become one of our more consistent performers. Johnny's done a great job with this guy. Really happy with him. Drebin looked great the other day. He's not without his demons also, and he's getting to a point now where Deb, who loves him, has been asking me to castrate him. He's getting a little rowdy in the barn, a little rude in the barn. I don't think I'm there yet because I like and respect this horse a lot. But you know, when Deb, who's very quiet and reserved, when she starts talking castration, it's probably time to listen. So I'll keep a close eye on Drebin over the next 2 weeks, I'd say. You don't want to get further down the line where you start castrating them in May. I don't want to do that. So Drebin got a short window to do it right and behave in the barn, or he is going to be a gelding in the near future. Easy in the turns has been good and just always there. Always even Steven. Even Stevie. Even Stephanie. But she's always been pretty even keel. Electric Line, we castrated him the other day. A week off certainly won't hurt him. Again, we're dealing with, I think the castration is definitely going to help him. I wasn't really worried about his attitude, but focus always helps, especially when he's made the breaks he's made. He's been good training. 2 weeks now, he's never made a break, or 2 training trips now, he's never made a break, so that's good. Flash Fly, I thought, was great the other day. She looked very, very good. She'll go Tuesday again. I'll go with her. Georgia the Jungle has looked good. Continues to look good. Gold Bug got that entrapment fixed. She'll be back Wednesday. This will be her first training trip back since being snipped. Great Bet looked good yesterday. Also training. Great Bet, Punch the Clock, and Rito's Lady looked great. All 3 of them right across the track. Very, very happy with them yesterday. Green Tea, very strong colt. I think James is down to drive him on Wednesday, if I'm not mistaken. Gypsy Hill, top of the class again over there. One of her best horses, just a really, really nice trotter. Hallie in the Clouds looked good here on Tuesday. James went with her. I'm Fancy Like. She threw a right hook at me the other day, the big girl. She got quite the attitude, but not mean, more like, if I don't like what you're doing, I might tell you quickly. And I don't mind it, but she has to understand that you're not going to tell me regardless. So I'm Fancy Like, look good on the track. Maybe I have to work on her in the barn a little bit, but look good on the track, and has looked good on the track for quite a while. Insider Trading, you know, I'm happy that Danny just keeps going with her, keeping her buried, because she didn't need to be in high gear. I had her right on her toes for about a month, and she looked awesome. We can get her back there. It's more important to keep her stress level low, keep the weight on her, keep her moving forward, and keep her happy. And I think that's the name of the game moving forward for Insider Trading, at least for a while. International Spy, a bit of an enigma with this guy. No real injury. I often in my mind, I wish he had more head of line in his pasture somewhere where we could have a very defined black and white path. This is his injury. This is how long it'll take to fix him. This is when he could probably be ready to go. And that's what I would much rather than, there's not really a whole lot there. He's got those long pasterns. He's got rough-looking sesamoids behind. What are we going to do with this guy? Three paths with International Spy that I can see. The first one, we continue to treat him, blister his hind legs, back off of them, and continue to train him, hoping that something doesn't bubble up, which I think is unlikely. That's the first path. Second path, blister him, turn him out in the field for 2 months, and bring him back in the summer. Possible. Very possible. Blister him, turn him out in the field, bring him back, and if we don't like what we see right away, we sell him. I don't like the third one. I don't think the first one is very wise or plausible. I'm leaning towards the second one. Here's a horse that the first month or so when we looked at him, just a gorgeous animal. Is he a horse we want to sell? I think there's more than enough there for us to be intrigued. More than enough there to say, maybe we just back off with this guy and let him mature mentally and physically. The more I think about it, I'm more leaning towards that path than push on and hope. I don't like how that one ends. It's a very low percentage move. Give up on him and sell him. There's closure and finality in that. We don't have to worry about that again. Or do right by the horse. Blister him, let him mature, turn him out in the field, bring him back after he's done growing up, because he's going to be a big boy. After he's done growing up, bring him back in June. Start him back up. I'm kind of leaning towards the second one. Nothing is needed to know right now today. We don't have to make a decision on that today. We can blister him and start jogging him along a little bit. Jogging him shouldn't hurt him, so start jogging him along a little bit until we decide what we'd like to do. But I don't think we're going to train International Spy for at least a few weeks, if we train him at all. I'm saying, likely in my mind, blister him, jog him a couple weeks, and then reevaluate and say, okay, what are we going to do with this guy? But I think as much for the mental and physical aspect of the horse, we should probably look at maybe kicking him out for a little while. Yeah, I think that's probably the way we'll go, but nothing is set in stone yet. Now, that was International Spy, Irresistible Son, again, amongst the top of the class in Ohio. This horse has just been absolutely lights out. I got James on him on Wednesday. I really hope he goes to this horse because Daryl's been going with him. He looks great. I'd really like to get a stranger on him to see what he thinks of him. Where do you see him strength-wise, power-wise, agility, gait-wise? I'd love, this is really a horse I really want some input from James for sure. Irresistible Son has just looked great. J-Port Beach Boy is getting better. We castrate him now. He's getting better every single week. Why is this thing kicking me out every 2 minutes? What the hell is wrong with it? I have to ask him to reset that. Age. Where are we at here? We got Levesque in action. She's been training good. Made a break on Jason Merriman the other day, but aside from that, has not made any breaks for over a month, I think. Lonely Lakewood continues to look very, very good here in Ontario. These Father Patricks have been impressive training down. Lover's Play looked great the last 2 times she trained. Very happy with her. McPaisley, I'm getting optimistic reports from her now. Everybody likes what they see from McPaisley. So we crowd a splint. I actually did her knees the other day. They were bothering her a little bit. I don't like doing that generally. I was right on the tip of my tongue just saying to blister. But here on the other side of the barn, I was getting Tima's on my side's knees done, and I wasn't getting McPaisley's done. And I thought to myself, is that fair? You know, what's good for the goose is good for the gander, and you probably should look into that. And that's exactly what I did. So we just ended up doing her knees. Mel Gibbs Swan. We ended up castrating Mel, not because of his attitude per se, but because the vet was worried that one of his testicles had a twist in it, in the, I guess the cord. I don't know. Which I thought was odd. The reason he looked into it and investigated that was he was biting at himself, and the vet was worried that that was the first sign of colic. And we've had some issues with colic. Not, I was going to say in Ohio, but on both sides of the border this year, obviously. And when he looked at him, he said, "No, I think he's actually sore. I think his testicle might be bothering him." And that was the vet's diagnosis. It was we never had him checked, him gelded. He said, honestly, I think you should geld this horse. Okay, geld him, I guess. So Mel Gibbs Swan was gelded the other day. Again, if he goes on Wednesday, it will be under the direction of the veterinarian, under Mike. So we'll see what he says come Monday I'll have him look at him. They'll jog him. I'll have him look at him. Can he go on Wednesday? Here he would be going. It's right on the day. 6-7 days to training. Yeah, not the end of the world. We'll see. If he says, I'd rather wait another week, then we'll wait another week. Not really the end of the world. Memory and Imagination, again, another one of these Father Patricks that has just been absolutely fantastic. Daryl asks about him all the time now. I said, geez. He asked me the other day, this is the Father Patrick, right? He said, geez, he trained good. And he is a good-looking horse. Militant touched his knee the other day, and it blew up a little bit. I don't know why. He's never come really close to his knee at all before that. And it wasn't one mark. There was 3 or 4. So was it a shoeing thing? Did we make a change of the shoeing? I kept thinking about it. I don't think we did. We put knee boots on him, but now he had a little cut there, and it was bothering him. I'm sure it'll be cleaned up fine for Wednesday. So there won't be a problem with Militant. Mounds for All continues to look great. This horse wears a set of trotting boots and a bridle. That's it. No head check, no knee boots, no bell boots, no nothing. Just trotting boots behind and a bridle. And he has been very, very good of late. So really happy with him. No Chance in Hill. Got a little scare with him 2 weeks ago with the vet clinic where he was there for a potential colic. Now, they didn't have to do anything with him, but they spent a couple of days running fluids through them. He's fine now. He'll train on Wednesday. Oh Snap You has been absolutely great training. Really happy with her. Very happy with what I saw. Paycheck Princess has made a lot of breaks training down. We changed her hobbles. We added a set of knee boots on her. Put a head pull and a Murphy blind on the inside. And the other day she was just laying on that head pull. I hate when they do that. Oh, I hate it. It happens. So it's frequent. It happens. So we'll go with a bit burr and a line pull on her until she gets used to it and steers straight. But lots of speed and lots to offer. Nobody's ever said she's not fast, that's for sure. Pickpocket, again, right up there with the best horses we have. He's just a very, very nice colt. This is a Walner colt. I believe this is the one out of the sister to Moneymaker and has looked exceptional training down. Prince Charmer looks good. He was training good again the other day. Not really at the top of our class, but doing his work very well. Has lots to offer. Here's a stud. Never says boo. Never gets worked up. Never gets excited. Joey went with him the other day. He said, geez, he's kind of lazy. Joey just kind of sits up on him. And I was happy with the horse. I think he's come a long way, and I really like him. Pull the Shoes, talk about horses coming a long way. She's put a ton of weight on, and she looks absolutely fantastic on the track now. Can't wait to go with her on Wednesday. Punch the Clock, I went with her on Saturday. James had been going with her, but had to go to Mohawk to train, and Punch the Clock just looked amazing on the track. Very, very happy with this filly. Purple People Eater. Joey swears she's the best filly in the barn. Okay. Ohio. I mean, you got Oh Snap You and Sedona Hill to deal with. So if she's the best, let me see it. I'm not saying she's not. She looks good, but I'm gonna have to see it. So she's been training very, very good. Purple People Eater looks very good in Ohio. Ready for Landing. One is set the other day, and I hope that's a staging point. I hope. Made some shoeing changes on him. Made a couple little equipment changes. I hope that's a staging point for Ready for Landing, because he looked very, very good the other day. Really Don't Care looks good every day. She looked great again last week. Very, very happy with Ready for Landing. Really Don't Care. Rito's Lady, amongst the bottom, she's got to climb her way up the ladder, but man, she looked great the other day. Jimmy went with her. He said, I just moved over to let Punch the Clock through, and he said, I just finished up with the bit in her mouth. She was strong. She might be a fun horse to race. She's come a long way from that ugly, rickety gait she had when we started with her. She is pacing nice and clean now. Very happy with, she's nowhere near the top of the class right now, but happy with the progression from Rito's Lady, and she's tough. Royal Emeralds, just a green shoe. The filly looked amazing all along training down. Really happy with her. Seasons of Love, it continues to look good in Ontario. She took to the Snake Core and the Martingale and the Earhood, perfect. She went out and did her work, perfect. That's how the professional side of the horses should be. You don't get to see that very often, but we did see it with this filly, and man, she just looks amazing on the track. Sedona Hill, crowd a splint on her the other day. She's rolly and rough and couldn't get to the bottom of it. This little splint popped out. Would I love nothing more now that we've crowded to see her go out and trot 1, 2, 3, 4 on the track. She's scary fast filly. She can go, but does she have a ceiling? Is she a little too small? I don't think so, but there's a lot going to play out in Sedona Hill's future. A lot going to play out that is unknown with her. How fast can she go? How deep is she? How versatile is she going to be? Is she going to behave herself? All these things are unknown still. But I'll tell you, when she's on her game, She is a very, very nice filly. Southwind Digit continues to grind forward. Happy with her. She's nowhere near the top of the class yet, but happy with her. She does everything nice. Everything nice. James is going with her on Wednesday, so I'd love. Can't wait to some of these horses. I can't wait just to see James to drive them one time and say, okay, I know you don't have a lot of information on them. What is your initial thoughts on this horse? And that'll be a question that I'll ask him a lot on Wednesday. Sunset Acres Girl. She is what she is. She's a freaking nice filly. She does everything perfect and is fast and is staked in Michigan. I can't help but think she's going to be amongst the top of the class there. And it's really early to say that, but for a filly, if she continues on this trajectory where she's training with amongst our best horses, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Ohio, and doing as well as she is, I have to believe she's going to be one of the standouts in that state. But maybe there's a number of them. I don't know. Maybe it's a bumper crop year. I have no idea. But the one we got, a really nice filly. Sweeney looked great again the other day. I got high hopes for this horse. He's not to Gypsy Hill or Irresistible Sun just yet, but I can see him getting there. He is fast and he is durable and a tough colt. He looked good the other day. 3rd and 6 is getting better. Jason's got him trotting good. He looks good. I mean, I don't think we had to make the Hambletonian payment on him, but good looking colt now. He's starting to come around much better since we castrated him. Time is on my side. Looks very, very good and continues to look good. Happy with this guy. We took the flip-flops off him. I think I'm going to ask him to put the cutout kind back on him. If his knees are hurting him a little bit now, that means his feet must be bugging him a little bit. We're going to go to probably putting those back on him over the next week or so. But he's been training great. Vaquero Blue Chip looked good again. Has looked good since being castrated. I'm happy with him. Venice Blue Chip. When you talk about our very best horse in Ohio, she's in the mix. She's in the conversation. When we talk about our very best horse overall at the stable, she's in the mix. She's in the conversation. This is a very, very nice filly. I'm really happy with her. Victory Blue Chip starting to come on now the way we wanted to see him look. He looks very, very good on the track. Watch Your Mouth continues to improve. He's right in behind everybody and doing his work well every week. What's he going to look like when we get to the track? That's an interesting question. I don't know, but he's going to be an effective horse regardless. He may not be a gold horse, then he'll be a handy grassroots horse or a prospect horse. He'll be a race horse. He's already figured out that he's getting better at his job, so to speak. So very happy with Watch Your Mouth. Widespread Panic continues to get better every week. We did cryo those splints. We did castrate him. I think this will be the turning point. As they used to say, the TSN turning point in his career will be right now. What we just did with him, crying those splints and castrating him, I think in 3 weeks we're going to look back and say, man, am I ever glad we did that. What a nice horse this has turned out to be. I could be wrong. Obviously, this is in video now, so you guys can hold me to whatever you want. But I think Widespread Panic possesses talent, and I believe this was the turning point in his career right here. And Winter Bells, talk about horses being talked about in the conversation of being one of our best. This is Shadow Play filly. Her full sister won the Battle of the Bells, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 years ago. So she has talent in the family. I think she has a lot to offer us, and most definitely in the conversation of one of the best horses we have. Just a very, very nice filly. So those are your 2-year-olds. I don't think I could give you a more in-depth description of all of them right now. And every week I get an email from somebody saying, no, you don't talk about this horse very much or that horse. Somebody said to me the other day, you don't talk enough about Cunning Connie. She's a 3-year-old, obviously. I said, some of the horses are just kind of in the middle of the road. They're doing their work well. They're not outstanding. They're certainly not disappointing. And really just saying they're doing their work well is enough. And I could give you a 2-minute description of the horse, but at the end of the day, it will all be boiled down to they're doing their work well. And there's nothing wrong with doing your work well. So in regards to some of the horses on this list, if I didn't speak very long about them, that's not a bad thing. Right? Not a bad thing at all. And when it comes to a horse like, let's see if I can find Prince Charmer. As I said, just doing his work well, middle of the road guy. Mounts for all, middle of the road guy, just doing his work well. The most impressive thing is that he wears no gear, right? J-Port Beach Boy, I never talk about him, but he has a path forward to be a nice horse if we want him to be. So just because I don't speak about your horse in depth does not mean it's a bad horse. In fact, If it was a bad horse, I would probably speak about your horse in depth, just not in a positive way. And we don't have any of those horses right now, right? When I look down this entire list of 61 horses, the only horse, International Spy, we're going to turn him out. I think the more I talk about it, the more I think to do right by us and right by the colt, giving him the time to mature physically and mentally is probably the right way to go. So of 61, I see a path where one might end up in the field. I don't see any of our 60 that are left that are on a path to be sold. Put it that way. That's the first time I could ever say that. In every year before this, we've had horses we've sold. More than enough horses we sold, and a lot that we were looking to sell. A lot that we just got rid of when they started racing. The 60 that I have in front of me that are going to be left, I see a path for all of them. So that is the takeaway from this week's conversation. And as I said, if I didn't speak in depth of your horse, that's not a bad thing. Not a bad thing at all. I'm very happy to have lots of Even Stevens. Lots of them. So with that, I'm going to let you guys go. I hope you had a good weekend. I know it's a wet and rainy day here Saturday in Ontario, but maybe not everywhere. And for tonight's races, I'm going to watch them. I'm not going to be wet, I can tell you that. I'm going to be sitting in my room watching the races with my wife. So good luck to everybody racing today, both in Pennsylvania with Odds on Delray, in Ontario with all our other horses. So with that, I'll let you go. I'm going to work on the list of stables today. Bring those to you tomorrow when I get a chance to do the opening tomorrow. So take care. Have a great weekend, and I hope you have a better week next week. Take care.